Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is with you. Welcome to Verbling, and my name is Hamish, and in this class we are going to be looking and practicing questions and answers for the speaking section of the TOEFL exam. Let me remind you, these first 2 minutes are for Verbling Premium users, so if you're finding it difficult to get a space at the class that you really want to go to or attend, please consider upgrading your membership to Premium, and that will give you an opportunity in the first 2 minutes of these classes to get your place at the table. In these first 2 minutes, while I wait for students, I'm going to put some links up here in the Verbling chat. First of all, we have the official TOEFL website, and that is going to give you great information about when and where and hi and wow and all those things, all those technical questions that you might have about the TOEFL exam, including, well, do I need to take it? What are the good reasons for taking it? What kind of schools and universities and professions need you to provide a TOEFL score? And if you do need it, then what's the best way for me to prepare it? When should I take it? How much is it going to cost? Just answering a question in chat there, and I think it is their official website run by ETS, and they're going to give you some really helpful and really trustworthy advice about this exam, because there's no shortage of free information on the internet about TOEFL, but it's good to use the trusted website to make sure that you're following the right rules in terms of applications, and also that you're using the best techniques that you can to prepare for an exam like this, because it is a very hard exam. Of course, if you have good English and if you prepare well and practice correctly, then you can be successful. But we have to work hard. This is in the TOEFL exam to do well, to get that high score that we need. So we're going to practice our speaking, of course, in this hour, and we're going to practice in particular question 2 of the TOEFL the speaking section of the TOEFL exam. And question 2 is always about a choice that you either you have to choose A or B, 1 or 2. And so they'll give you options, and there'll always be 2 things to choose from in question 2, and they'll always ask you to make that choice. So when we answer the question in question 2, the first thing we're going to do is give them the what, which is our direct answer, our choice to that question. The rest of the time we spend answering that question, we're going to talk about the why. So first of all, we give them the what, which is our choice, and then the rest is the why. And when I say why, I mean our reasons, our details, our descriptions, our explanation as to why we're making that choice. Let me say hello to our students here, and then we'll get started with our practice. Let me see. Let me say hello to, I hope you're here, I've got a very black screen in front of me, Ahmed Azab. Hello, Ahmed.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Okay, I'm glad to hear it. Ahmed, where are you from?
I'm from Egypt.
Okay, welcome to Verbling. Are you preparing for the TOEFL exam at the moment, or do you just want to practice your English with us?
I'm just practicing my English, but I'm gonna to prepare for TOEFL afterwards. After that.
Okay, and are you studying at the moment, Ahmed?
Yeah. I'm gonna graduate after 2 months.
All right. Okay, and what are you studying?
I'm a student at the College of Business, studying accounting.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I'm also studying BBO, business consulting, including English language.
Okay, English language, and well, welcome to this class, and I hope it's helpful for you. Ahmed. The sound isn't perfect right now, so I hope that we'll get a chance to practice with you, and I hope we'll be able to hear your answers as well. So we'll be able to give you the most useful class we can do here on Verbling. Let me say hello to everyone else, and I see I have a full class, so let me say hello to everyone, and then we'll get moving with our practice. Second of all, let me say hello to David. Hello, and welcome back, David. How are you?
Hello. Just more relaxed than this afternoon.
Which is good. So, are you happy with how your exam went?
I think that it goes okay, but tomorrow we have the writing, the use of English, reading, and listening.
Okay. So you've still got plenty to do. Well, I'm sending you my best wishes for that exam tomorrow. I hope it goes really well for you. I hate exams personally, but it's much more fun helping other people. But I'm sure you'll do fine.
My club.
I know, it's funny. I don't know anyone who likes exams actually, but they're necessary. So we have to do them. David, so good to see you in class today. Let me say hello to Gary. Hello, Gary.
Hi.
Gary, how are you today?
I'm fine, thanks.
And where are you from?
I'm from Mexico.
Mexico. Good to meet you, Gary. Are you a student?
Yeah, I'm studying for be a teacher of English as a second language.
All right, okay. And what do you want to do with that? Do you want to work in Mexico or do you want to travel?
I want to travel more to Australia.
Ah, okay, very nice. Australia's a beautiful country. And are you thinking that you're going to prepare for the TOEFL exam, or are you just wanting to practice your English with us?
I want both. I want first study for the TOEFL and then for the FC.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan, and I'm really glad you're here with us in class today, so we can practice some of these TOEFL questions with you. So good to meet you, Gary. Let me carry on and say hello to is it Jihad or Hihad? Tell me, how do I say your name?
Yeah.
Jihad. Jihad. Okay, got it. Where are you from?
I'm from Palestine.
Palestine. Okay. A very warm welcome to Verbling to you, Jihad. Are you studying or are you working right now?
Actually, I'm an English teacher.
Okay, got it. Right.
Yeah.
And
I'm here to practice English.
Okay.
I'd like to meet native speakers. To be great for me.
Okay. Well, welcome, and of course we have at least one native speaker here in the class, I'm happy to say, but welcome to Verbling, and I hope you enjoy this class. Let me say hello to. No, you're very welcome. Let me say hello to Lizzie. Hello, Lizzie.
Hi there.
How are you today?
I'm tired.
I'm a little bit tired too, but it's just because it's so hot today in Tennessee. Lizzie, where are you from?
I'm from Rio, Brazil.
Very nice. I'm jealous. I always wanted to go there. And tell me, are you studying or working right now, Lizzie?
Yes, I'm on my second graduation right now.
Okay, and what are you studying?
Public health.
Public health. Goodness me. Okay. So what do you want to do for a job? What are you going to do in work?
Actually, I dream about how can I say, to make people aware of their rights about health and how can they achieve that.
Okay. Well, in terms of their rights, I would say that would be advocacy work. So you would either be speaking for people or helping people understand what they're entitled to and what they can do. So perhaps you would be an advocate. That's one way of saying that, I think. But I understand.
No, I do have a lot of job here where I live. So I would like also to teach, but to do a master thesis, it's very difficult here. And that's why I'm doing a second graduation to see if I'm able to do it in this other college.
Okay. Okay, that sounds like a plan. Well, Lizzie, thank you. Thank you for coming to class
You're
today,
welcome.
and welcome to Verbling. I hope you find this class helpful. Let me say hello to Maggie. Hello, Maggie. Oh, can you say hello again, Maggie? I didn't quite hear that.
Hi, do you hear me?
Oh, that's a lot better. Maggie, where are you from?
Argentina.
Argentina. Okay, welcome to Verbling. And do you want to prepare for the TOEFL exam, or are you here just to practice your English with us?
Actually, I'm here just to practice, but I would also like to do the test.
Okay. Okay. Well, then again.
Exam.
Okay. The sound isn't perfect, Maggie. So I'm going to try and practice with you today in this class, but of course, if I can't hear you, it's going to be difficult. So we're gonna do our best to make sure we can hear you clearly. Let me say hello to Marina. Hello, Marina.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you.
Where are you from?
I'm actually from Russia, but now I live in Canada.
Why did you move to Canada?
I'm here to study. Actually, I'm writing IELTS test this weekend.
Okay.
So that's why I need some speaking practice before.
A good plan, and I absolutely, of course, there are similarities between TOEFL and IELTS, and of course some important differences. But I do believe getting some practice in answering questions is going to be good preparation. So
sure.
I like the plan. Nice one. Hey, welcome to class. And
Thank you.
No problem. You're very welcome, Marina. Thank you for coming. And last of all, let me say hello to is it Rubili?
Hi, teacher.
Hello. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm okay. I'm glad you.
You hear me?
I was worried you were going to get hit by that big truck that went past there. I'm glad you're okay. It sounded very loud. Rubili, tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Colombia.
Colombia. Welcome to Verbling and welcome to this class. Rubili, I look forward to hearing some of your answers today. I'm gonna get moving and start this practice because we have so many students here, and I want to make sure that I get to hear from all of you. So today, in the rest of this hour, now that we know each other, we're going to practice question 2 of the speaking section of the TOEFL exam, and these are all about making a choice. So each of these questions is: do you prefer this or that, this one or that one? And it's up to us to give a clear what, to give a clear decision about which one we prefer, and that could be, it could be fast food or home cooked food, restaurants or home cooking. It could be to travel with someone or to travel by yourself. It could be spending time with friends, spending time with family, things like that. Things that in our native language are easy and common as well to talk about. The challenge is not really the question. The challenge is to answer the question well in English. And also, and this is particular to TOEFL, the challenge is to plan your answer in just 15 seconds. And let me put that in the box so we're clear about the time. We've got 15 seconds to prepare, and we have 45 seconds to speak. Okay, so these questions, they're very fast, and of course, 15 seconds to prepare your answer. These questions are not going to be complicated. They're not looking for a lot, but what they are looking for with every single one of these questions is a clear answer, the what, your choice between the two options, and your why. So maybe 5 seconds to give a clear, well, I prefer to eat in restaurants, or I prefer to cook at home, and then for the following reasons. And the TOEFL examiner, when they're assessing your answers, they're looking either for 2 big reasons with details and examples, or 3 smaller reasons with details and examples. So don't forget, and it's so important when you're answering these questions and practicing your answers for these questions. Yeah, that you give a clear answer and that you explain why. Okay? Yes.
Teacher, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
For example, when somebody are going to present a TOEFL exam, there there is a specific topic to present?
You're going to get I'm going to give you different questions, and there are a variety of things that they'll ask you about. So in this class, I'm going to show you a lot of examples of the kinds of questions that you'll be asked. But these are everyday, these are common questions about food, leisure, family, studies, basically the life around you. And we shouldn't find the questions themselves so hard. It's the challenge of planning and preparing your answer in a short time, and then of course delivering or giving your answer with good English. And that's of course what they're listening for when they assess your responses. Let me find my questions first of all. Yeah. I'm sorry?
So it's necessary to know a lot of vocabulary.
Yeah, but it's vocabulary about everyday things. They don't need you to be an expert on history or science or politics or anything like that. They expect you to have the vocabulary to talk about yourself, about your life, about your hometown, and about the things that you study or the things you do for a living. So they'll need you to have vocabulary for that. And absolutely, to be successful in the TOEFL exam, you'll need that level of vocabulary. But whatever section of the TOEFL exam you do, whether it's the reading, the writing, the speaking, or the listening, at no point do you need to suddenly be an expert in an academic subject. You just need to have a good level of English. And of course, yes, the wider vocabulary you have, that's going to be a huge advantage to you, absolutely. Let me see. Okay. Okay, I'm going to find, there we go, got the first question, and I'm going to go in the list that I've got written down here, so let me see. Turn you down, Rubely, and making a bit of noise there. Okay, I'm going to go to Gary, first of all. Gary, are you happy to practice with us?
Yes.
Good answer. Thank you for that, Gary. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to put each of these questions in the Verbling chat box. I'm also going to read it out so that everyone can hear it. And that's very similar to the TOEFL exam, where you'll see the question on your screen and you'll hear the question on your earphones as well. So it's a realistic practice. I'm also going to time each of you when you go through these questions with my fabulously high-tech cell phone. And of course, we can do that if we practice by ourselves, to use a cell phone, a laptop, or the clock on the wall to time ourselves. And remember, we have 15 seconds to prepare the answer, 45 seconds to give that answer. But this first one is for Gary. And so let me put that question in the box. Oh yes, we'll start with one that I think I mentioned as an example, actually. Let me see. Okay. Let me put it in here, and we will start. Okay, Gary, here's your question. Some people prefer to eat at food stands or restaurants. Other people prefer to prepare and eat food at home. Which do you prefer? Gary, I'm giving you 15 seconds to prepare your answer. Those 15 seconds begin now.
Okay.
Okay, Gary, please begin your answer now.
Okay. Well, I prefer the food made in home because it's more healthy, and it's I can put it in any ration that I can. So I don't like to buy things in the restaurant because it's a little expensive here in Mexico. And it's more cheap to buy the ingredients here and make by yourself. Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks for that answer, Gary. Gary, I like it's interesting, and honest and believable, and I like those things. What do you think of that question, Gary? Is that an easy one for you to answer, or what do you think?
I think it's easy.
Yeah, I've got you down at about 35 seconds, so you have another 10 seconds you would have another 10 seconds to give that answer. So what do you think? If you have another 10 seconds, what more could you talk about, Gary, do you think? What else could you say to answer that question?
Well, about the hygienic. That's
okay.
what.
Okay. Yeah.
About the hygienic that they have in the restaurants. I don't know how they prepare the food, and I don't know how to. I don't know how to prepare the excuse me.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't know how to prepare the things in my home. So yeah, that's why.
Okay, and I want my feedback for you would be, it's of course it's easy for you to think of the things to say because this is a straightforward question in our native language. It's okay. Where do I like to eat? And we all have an opinion about this, about whether we want to eat in a restaurant or at home. And you gave me two clear reasons. And when I just asked you again, there was another clear reason. And we've got if I eat at home, it's healthier, it's cheaper, and it's more maybe safer in terms of food hygiene because if you're making it yourself. And you talked about, I think you said rations maybe, but we were talking about portion size in English to say, okay, yeah, so you would have portion control, and you would have that. So these are three great reasons. I think those are wonderful things to talk about in the answer. So go with those. If you take a chance, take an opportunity to practice this question again, there's nothing wrong with those reasons. The examiner will also be looking for more details, or perhaps more examples, or a more of a description about what you're talking about. A little bit of grammar. You gave me more. You gave me I think it was it more cheap maybe? Certainly more healthy. And when we have short words like healthy and pretty and things like that, we're gonna add an so we could say, well, it's cheaper, it's healthier. Yeah. A word like hygienic, well, we're gonna give it that more, of course. So be careful with more. Because and there's you can look this. I don't need to give you the rule right now. But if you do an internet search for English and when to use more, they'll give you a pretty clear understanding of when we use it and when we just add that er instead. But I liked your answer. I thought it was interesting. I thought you were enthusiastic. But absolutely think about the other things that you might want to talk about. The other examples. I'm going to. That so we don't get. Oh no, it wasn't you. I'm so sorry. It was Rubly. We get a lot of traffic today in the classroom. But Gary, thank you so much for that practice. Thanks for going first, which I know is difficult.
I have a little question.
Okay, go ahead.
What about my pronunciation?
The pronunciation is okay because I could, the most important thing with question 2 is we give a clear answer. And we make it easy for the examiner to understand what we're saying. The pronunciation, sorry, I'm a little bit allergic today, I think, itchy nose. Pronunciation is pretty good. I think sometimes the grammar made it difficult for me to understand where you were going, and that's like the use of more, things like that. Sometimes the grammar can lead to a misunderstanding, or if the grammar isn't quite right, it can make it means the examiner is having to work hard to understand, and if they're having to work hard to understand it, the score is going to go down. So, in terms of general pronunciation, I thought it was fine. We can always get better at that, but I think it was more about the grammatic, the sentence structure that I'd be encouraging you to work on. Okay. Thanks, Gary. I appreciate you practicing with us. Nice one. Let me go to Lizzie. Lizzie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Are you happy to practice with us?
Okay.
All right. Nice one. Let me find a good one for you. Okay. And again, these are all questions that have been used in the TOEFL exam. Of course, I'm not saying that we're going to get those when you take the TOEFL, but these are very typical questions, and the same sorts of things often come up in the actual TOEFL exam. So it's really helpful, I think, to practice with a variety of these. So this one, again, 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to give your answer. And yeah, this one is for Lizzie, but please, everybody, when you see the question, take a look yourself and think, what's my choice, and what examples would I give? But I'll ask Lizzie to give me her answer. Lizzie, your question: would you prefer to go on a trip overseas to a new country with a companion you know, or just by yourself? I'll give you 15 seconds to prepare your answer.
Can I answer?
If you want to answer straight away, sure.
Yes, I would prefer to go on my own, but I am afraid that I am not brave enough to go to another country on my own. But I would like to travel alone. I envy the people that do that, but I don't think I would be able to do it anyway.
Okay, so, and I'm not quite sure what your choice is there. So you're saying you would like to go alone?
Yes, but I don't have. I'm not very brave to do that. But definitely, right. if I had a lot of money, I would travel alone.
Okay, so is your preference? Because the question is, which one do you prefer? So
yeah, I would prefer to travel alone. Yes.
Okay, so tell me, what are the reasons why you would prefer to travel alone? What are the advantages for you?
I don't know. I think when you are alone, you can think better. So I like to be alone sometimes, and I think that helps, to see the things that you want. And if you have another person with you, you have to share the activities that you're going to do. So that's why I would prefer to go alone.
Okay. So an example like that, when we talk about if I travel alone, then I can make all the choices. I can make all the decisions. I don't have to share what's going on with this other companion, and that's a perfectly fine reason to give. And of course, with all these questions, the examiner doesn't judge which choice you make. They don't even care which choice you make, but they do care about you giving them making a clear choice and giving them reasons. So we have one reason, which is, well, I suppose, yes, I mean, the biggest thing you were talking about was perhaps I'm not brave enough to travel alone, and of course that's not a reason why you would prefer to travel alone. So we'd have to be very clear, and I think you would probably have the language in order to do this, but we have to be careful with the structure of our answer. If someone asks you in a casual conversation,
okay, I got it.
That's one thing. Yeah, but they're pretty strict in TOEFL about, okay, we need an answer, and we need 2 or 3 reasons. So if you want to think about that question and take an opportunity to practice it again outside of class or in another verbaling class, of course, or with another teacher, with a friend, by yourself, you have a lot of options in the ways that we practice and prepare for the TOEFL. I would encourage you to think, okay, well, what are my 2 big reasons, or my 3 smaller reasons, I beg your pardon, and think about, how do I describe that? Because when we talk about, it's an opportunity for me to be by myself, think about, well, what am I going to do on this trip by myself? Is it because I want to visit museums and churches and cathedrals and be alone with that, or is it because I want to enjoy a meal, or just have the peace and quiet of being by myself? So of course there are lots of things you could talk about to answer a question like this, but that structure will be so important in order to give a successful answer. And I would say again, even though these questions are very everyday, these questions are things people could ask you in a casual conversation, especially in the United States or the UK or Australia, all these English-speaking countries. These are very ordinary questions. Okay. But of course, the TOEFL is not an ordinary conversation. It's a very formal, rigid. We know we have to be clear about their expectations.
Is it the same thing with the Cambridge test?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there are differences, but it's if we know it's a test of our English speaking or a test of our communicative abilities, they're going to have very clear, well, they're going to have very strict expectations about the kinds of answer, not the kinds of information we're giving, but the structure to our answers. So that's 50% of TOEFL success. You know, one half is of course having a good level of English. The other half is knowing, well, what do the examiners expect from me? Because if we know that, then we have a much better chance to be successful. And I always say, if a native English speaker took this TOEFL exam without any preparation, they'd fail it. It would be a disaster for them, because just knowing how to speak English isn't enough. You also need to know how to speak and how to structure your answers, because they would be just giving these casual answers, and that's not what TOEFL are looking for. So
Okay.
I'm not saying that's good or bad. That's just how it is, and I hope that's helpful for you, Lizzie, because I know you can give. I know you would be able to give a well-structured answer. So I look forward to practicing with you again in the future as well. And thank you for being number 2 with us today. Let me go to Jihad. Jihad, are you there?
Yes.
Excellent. Are you happy to take the next question, Jihad?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, let me find this question for you. I'm going to put it in the box, and again, as always, 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to give your answer. I'm pasting it in the box right now. Jihad, here's your question. During your spare time, would you prefer to watch a movie or read a book? I'm going to give you 15 seconds to prepare your answer. Your 15 seconds start now.
Okay. I think watching.
Do you want to take the 15? Because you might have time to think about it.
Pardon?
You get 15 seconds to prepare your answer. 15 seconds to plan it out. If you want to. Yeah. Okay. Let me give you 10 seconds, and we'll be quiet, and we'll let you just think about the question. Okay. Here's 10 seconds. Okay, Jihad, there you go. Please begin your answer for us now.
Okay, thank you. I think watching a movie for a story is more interesting, more exciting. You live the story yourself. You can see it in front of you. But if you read a book, I think it depends on your imagination. So if you are not a person who have wide imagination, maybe it will not be interesting for you. This is point number 1. Maybe point number 2 is about I think reading will be more beneficial, because you will understand the story clearly, and you will take your time to understand the story. But when you watch the movie, you are not the one who decide when to stop and what to know exactly, but the director control the story. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Jihad. That was very interesting. That second point was I'd never thought of it that way. That's really nice. Let me stop my stopwatch right there. Now, I liked the points you made, and I liked some of the vocabulary you were using, and talking about that sense of imagination, and also that in your second point, the control that the director has in terms of how that story unfolds. I think those are interesting points. I also think, though, that these 2 points are they are contradicting each other. And I know, when we want to answer a question like this, especially in an academic setting, often we want to talk about both sides. We want to give reasons for watching a movie, and reasons for reading a book. And that's a very balanced and especially very academic way to do something. In the TOEFL exam, with question 2, they want you to just choose one and back that up. So, and it doesn't matter which one it is. So if we choose movie, let's think of 2 or 3 reasons why we prefer to watch a movie. If we're choosing reading a book, then 2 or 3 reasons why the book is the best option. Because we're not saying that everyone has to read a book. It's purely about your personal preference. And of course, only you can tell us about your personal preference. So it's important to talk about this on a personal level. And I think you started your answer doing that and talking about how what you would prefer to do. But then the rest of your answer was much more general, and I know that I understand. I'm guilty of doing that when I answer questions as well. But we have to keep it personal about what we want and don't want. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
To take talk in general is more diplomatic than talking about.
Yeah, absolutely, and I understand that. And part of this, of course, is that it can feel uncomfortable to express your own private views with a stranger. And I know I'm effectively a stranger here for you today, and of course you're in a class. Like that. but I appreciate that point. The point that it is more, as you say, more diplomatic to talk in a general sense. That's true. It's also true that the TOEFL is they don't care about diplomacy. They want a direct answer from you, and they want to hear your views. What they're assessing, what they're testing you on, is your ability in this question to talk about what you prefer, what you want, the things that you like and the things that you don't like. So that's what they're listening for. And so as soon as we start talking more generally, we've moved on from ourselves, and we're talking about maybe about people or society or other people or what people generally like to do, and that's not answering the question, because all of these questions are going to have you in it. What do you prefer? What do you like best? So and I know that could be a difficult thing to get used to, and a difficult way to answer the questions, and I don't think it's a natural way to answer the question, but it is the TOEFL way. So absolutely, when you get a chance to practice these questions like this, very important to again to give that direct answer and to talk about yourself. There are other questions in the TOEFL exam where they will ask you to report on what other people think. You'll listen to a lecture, for example, or you'll read a passage in English, and you'll give a summary of what the professor says or what the professor is trying to say. So that's again maybe speaking generally or speaking about another person. But especially the first 2 questions in the speaking section, absolutely personal, absolutely about you. And so to get the best grade, to get the best score with questions 1 and 2, we have to keep it personal and talk about ourselves and don't worry about anyone else. So, especially that second part of your question, I thought it was very interesting, a very interesting and original and unique point of view. So it was good to hear that, actually, Jihad. Thank you for that, and thank you for practicing.
Thank you for the tips too.
All right, no problem at all. You're very welcome. Let me say hello to David again. Hello, David. Oh, hi. Yeah, thank you for unmuting yourself.
Yes, I was unmuting the micro.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Are you happy to practice with us, David?
Yes, sure.
All right, excellent. Let me find something for you here. Da, 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 da. Sorry, I'm spoiled for choice. I think I have too many questions. Here we go. I'm going to put this question in the Fairplane chat yet again. 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to speak. This one is for David, but please, everybody, take a look and think, what would I choose and how would I explain that? But yes, I'll ask David to give me his answer. Here we go. David, your question. Some people like to hurry and get things done as quickly as possible. Others prefer to take their time and get things done at a slower pace. Which do you prefer? You have 15 seconds to prepare. Your 15 seconds begin now. Okay, David, please begin your answer now.
I'll prefer do the things not slow, not harder. I mean, if it's the one thing that you must do hard or fast because you're in hurry, then I will say go or hurry. And then if it's one thing that you can do it easily, you can do it slow, because I prefer do the thing in the best way in case then going to the bad way, sincerely.
Okay. Thanks, Dave. We have a few shorter answers today. That was about 35 seconds. So again, you have a little bit of time at the end, and I think again the examiner is going to be looking for some more detail.
I've done the exam today.
So yes, so they'll be looking for a little bit more of that. I thought some clear reasons, and I think you answered the question with clarity as well. What David, tell me, what do you think of a question like that? Is that a good one for you or a bad one?
It's a good one for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Better than this morning. They asked one serious question and I said, "Whoops, how can I answer?" But I was faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course it's very easy to feel anxious in these exams, and we have to work hard to make sure that we're as calm and relaxed as possible. And I promise you, I know for a fact that that's not an easy thing to do. And I think because I've had some difficult and anxious exams in my life, I'm always keen to try and help people be as prepared as possible for these exams, because of course the better we prepare, the more comfortable we are, and most likely the better we're going to do in these exams if we do feel calm, if we don't feel, as you say, if we don't feel flustered.
Yes. The only thing that I can say, if someone does exam, feel relaxed and help the partner, because if the partner is very nervous,
Mm-hmm.
then the partner feel more like nervous and put you nervous.
No,
Because
absolutely.
I had the partner that was very nervous and I calmed him with the exam.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that point, David. Thank you and of course, as always, thank you for practicing with us. Much appreciated. Let me take a look and let me go to Maggie. Maggie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Do you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Are you happy to practice with us, Maggie?
Yes, really happy.
All right, good answer. Thank you for that. Let me give you a question. This is a shorter question, but again, same amount of time, 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to give your answer. Maggie, this one is for you. Put it in the box right there. Here we go. Would you prefer to go on a long trip by car or by train? Explain with reasons and examples. Let me give you 15 seconds to prepare your answer, Maggie. Your 15 seconds begin now.
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 5 more seconds because we have to wait for the computer to give us that beep. And okay, well there's the beep.
Okay.
Please start your answer now, Maggie.
Yes, I prefer travel by train because in first place I have a claustrophobia and trains are bigger than cars, so if I travel in train I probably won't feel bad or ill. And in second place, because when I travel by car, I'm the driver, but if I travel by train, I can do other things like read or, I don't know, sleep or anything else. That's all.
Okay, and congratulations, you were the first student today to hit exactly 45 seconds in your answer, which I wish I had a prize. I don't have anything useful, but that was really good timing. and you were speaking, I think, at a maybe a little bit slow, but I think it was better a little bit slow than a little bit fast, because slower is much easier to understand than speaking too fast. I thought pronunciation.
If I talk fast,
Uh-huh.
I forgot the word that I wanted to say. So
Absolutely. No, and I understand that completely, Maggie, because you're right. We're trying to answer these questions. We're thinking so hard of what we're going to say next, and it's of course very natural to want to slow that down a little bit, so that we have more time to think of what we're going to say. So I understand that completely, and I thought your English was very clear as well. And I have to say, a very direct answer to the question, which is what we want, and two very clear reasons why as well. I'm not, of course, not all of the language was perfectly clear, but the reasons. Because when I'm taking a note and thinking, well, what are Maggie's two reasons? I've got them absolutely down here, because you're saying, okay, on the train you've got more space and you'll feel less claustrophobic. You won't feel bad, or you won't feel ill. And that second reason, well, if you're driving, you have to do the driving, but if you're on the train, you have the time and the space to do other things.
yes.
So I was able to hear those very clearly and understand them completely. So even if you're having to work hard to come up with some of the vocabulary, and yes, there was some hesitation in your answer, but the most important things with these questions is to answer the question and then to give clear reasons, and you gave some very clear reasons. And I think if you want to make this even better, you would want to improve the fluency, so less hesitation, a little bit quicker with the speaking, and of course that means you will have more space to give more details, to give more description about the things that you're talking about. But the basics for this answer, I thought you did really well, Maggie. I thought that was a really good answer.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem at all. Thanks for practicing with us as well. Let me move on to Marina. Hello, Marina. Oh no, there's no one there. That's a very nice room, though. I'll just sit there and admire it for a moment. There we go. Okay, I'm going to move on to and say hello to Slim. Hello, Slim. Welcome back.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. Now remind me, are you studying for the TOEFL, or are you just practicing your English?
I'm practicing my English. I think I will try to take TOEIC exam, but not TOEFL.
All right, okay, and of course, and it's important to do that research to find out which is the right one to take. I think I had a I'm just seeing if I had a link. No, I've got nothing useful to share with us there. Sometimes I have a link about the difference between some of these exams. Well, Slim, I thank you for your patience. Are you happy to practice with us?
Yes.
Good answer. Let me find a question for you. Dum, dum, dum. Interesting question. I'll be interested in your answer to this. Again, I'm going to put this one in the chat box. Please take those 15 seconds to prepare your answer, and then I'll ask Slim to give me his answer, and he'll have 45 seconds to give me that answer. There we go. Here's the question. Slim, when shopping, some people use brand names to help them decide what to buy. Other people go only by price. Which do you prefer? You have 15 seconds to prepare your answer. Your 15 seconds begin right now. Okay, Slim, please begin your answer now.
I think there is not a good answer for that, because sometimes you have to choose between a good shopping thing. It's maybe it's to avoid the risk that you have in your life. Like we can use a very safety or secure system, and we have to buy the brand name for that, because if you don't use that, maybe it will be very damage for the life or like medical disease or something. But in the other time, I choose to buy with the price for something that we can use it every day. That's it, teacher.
Okay, and about 45 seconds. So that's a good amount of time. Good timing for your answer there. I think I understand, Slim, that you look at a question like that and think, well, it depends. It depends, because some things are good for brands, some things are good for price. I understand. I'm sympathetic to an answer like that, because yes, it's true. Of course it is. Sometimes we do one, sometimes we do the other, and we make a judgment about that. But again, in this TOEFL exam, they're asking you for your preference, and they're checking your ability to make a clear choice in English and to give reasons why. So of course, you know what, we could give one sentence in our answer to say, well, you know, sometimes I shop by brand. As long as we say, but for most of the time I shop by price. Of course, we can do it the other way around. It doesn't matter. But we need to concentrate and give a direct. We need to give a preference, because that's what they're asking for. You know, they're not really saying which one is better in general. They're asking which one do you prefer, and they're not asking do you have a preference. They're saying, well, what is your preference? Which one do you prefer? And of course, maybe we don't have a preference, and if we don't, we're going to have to make one up, because it's what they want, and so we're going to give them what they want by deciding on a preference. So Slim, if you had to make a choice, speaking generally, if you had to choose between shopping by brand or shopping by price, which one would you choose?
I would choose buying by price.
Okay, and
I
yeah.
haven't medical treatment that I have to do it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So you.
The second one, because I don't care about brand name. I have already bought a cell phone that haven't any name like something. It's very expensive one.
Okay. Yeah. No, absolutely. So you can, Slim, you can see, and I hope everyone here can see. First of all, yes, of course, a question like this, it's very tempting to say, well, you know, I can see one side, I can see the other side, and in an ordinary, in a casual, in a natural conversation, that's probably what we would say. We'd say, well, you know, sometimes I do this, sometimes I do that. They're not going to like that in the TOEFL exam, because they're saying, give us a preference, make a choice, and back it up. And they ask questions like this because in an academic situation, in a university or college in the United States, if you're asked in class to make a choice, you can't, as to use the fine word, you can't prevaricate. You need to make a very clear distinction, make a choice, and back it up. And most of the time, I mean, if we're talking about history or politics or anything like that, the choice doesn't really matter. The preference doesn't matter. It's our ability to make a clear choice, and then to explain why, to give some very good, clear, strong, detailed reasons to back up our choice. So, I mean, a question like that, they're not judging if you shop by brand or by price. They don't care. They don't care, but they're looking for a clear choice and for you to tell them why. And they're listening carefully to those reasons to see if they can understand them and if they make sense as well. Yeah.
Teacher, before you asking me, I just want for that I wouldn't like to ask you for that if I have to choose one or not, or maybe it can be the both. And thank you for answering.
Yeah, no. Oh, absolutely. And I mean, in a natural conversation, we might talk about both. In this TOEFL exam, they absolutely want. I mean, your task, your job, is to make a choice, to make a preference. So they're always, for any question in question 2, it's always about making a choice and backing it up. That's not the same for all of the speaking section. It's not the same for all English exams, but in the TOEFL, there's a specific requirement on us in this question, these types of questions, to make a clear choice. So we can't choose both, we can't choose neither, we can't say, oh, it depends, which are all things we might say in a real conversation. But again, this isn't a natural conversation. We're in an exam, and they have specific requirements, so we need to meet those requirements. We need to give them the things that they're expecting, because they're testing our ability to make a choice, to express that choice, and to explain why we're making that choice. So it's not a test of truth or honesty. It's a test related to how we behave and how we speak in an academic situation, because they want to make sure that we can do that before they give us that score and we go on to study in a North American school, for example. Yeah. Let me see. Okay, no problem at all. You're welcome. I'm hearing myself. Whereas, oh, okay, I'm going to move on here. Let me see. I think we've spoken to everyone. Let me say hello to is it Amr? Hello, Amr.
Yes, hello.
Hello, Amr. How are you today?
Yes, fine.
Where are you from?
I'm from Egypt.
All right. Welcome to class. Amr, since you're here, I want to ask: would you like to answer one of our questions?
Yes, I'd like to answer your questions. I'm ready.
Okay, great stuff. Let me find a question for you, Amr. Let me see what we have here. Okay, that's the question. I'm going to put this in the chat box, and again, please everybody take a look in these 15 seconds and think about what's my choice and what are my reasons why as well. The most important things to choose, to make a choice, and then to think of your reasons. This one is for Amr, and I'm going to give him 15 seconds after I read out the question. Of course, here we go. Amr, some students like to listen to music when they're studying. Others prefer a very quiet atmosphere for their study. Which do you prefer? You have 15 seconds to prepare your answer. So take those 15 seconds, which start now. Okay, Amir, please begin your answer
This
now.
is my first time to answer this question. I'll try to do my best. I prefer people who with atmosphere. I think students who like to listen to music while they're studying, it's not a good idea. This make them non-comfortable, or they may not be this may take them out of the and atmosphere bring them to straight at what they are doing.
Okay, Amir, let me stop you there. The sound, I must admit, the sound wasn't great for us, so it was a little hard to hear some of the things you were saying. When we answer, and I thought I did hear some of the details, and I thought there were good things to talk about generally. But again, I would encourage you, and as I would encourage all students, when we're answering questions like this, and we see that you know, which do you prefer? It's really just about your own personal preference. Of course, we can talk about in general, you know, whether it's good for people to listen to music or whether it's good for people to study in a quiet atmosphere. But TOEFL doesn't want you to talk for everyone else or to speak for everyone else. They just want to hear what you have to say about your own personal experience, because there's no right answer for this. It depends who you are. It depends on the kind of student you are. So we can't prove it either way, but we can talk about our own opinion, and no one can tell us we're wrong. That's just our opinion, and but we can also explain clearly, you know, why. And I know I absolutely have to listen to music when I study, and I could give some reasons, but I wouldn't expect another person to share those reasons, because it's such a personal thing to do. So, and I mean this for everybody here, when we're answering these questions, very important to talk about our views, and to stay away from speaking generally about what other people should do. And I know that culturally speaking, that's a lot easier for well, for people native to the United States, because that's how they talk. But it's also how they are expected to talk in a North American school or university. So again, these questions are a way to test the student's ability to just be confident and to talk about their own point of view, and of course to back it up as well. I'm out of time. Let me just finish by saying thank you so much for everybody for those answers. I thought some very interesting answers today, some really nice practice, and it's always a pleasure to hear your answers. Let me finish by again just putting that TOEFL website address in the Verbling chat, so you've got that for any questions you might have about you know, where to take it, should I take it, how much does it cost, how do I apply, things like that. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, let me also leave you with my Facebook page, because if you follow me on Verbling, and sorry, let me turn that camera off. That's not very helpful for me. Let me leave you with a Facebook page, and please follow me on Verbling and on Facebook, and I'll let you know once a week. I'll give you my schedule so you know. All right, so that's when he's doing TOEFL classes and IELTS classes, and I'm also running some job interview preparation classes here tomorrow on Verbling. So I hope you can join me for that if you're interested in answering questions about jobs and things like that. So thank you again. Gotta say goodbye for now, but I really hope I'll see you all again very soon. Thanks so much for your hard work today. I appreciate it. Okay, I'll see you again. Bye-bye.